Hi everyone, Vian from Mountain Road Ride here, and today we're gonna talk indoor training. I don't think it's necessary for me at this point to state the obvious about why so many people are currently turning to indoor training, specifically cycling, just to keep that bit of sanity during these troubling times. Alright, so today we want to talk about a budget and fairly cheap entry-level option that you have to get set up and started with indoor training. I'm going to specifically focus on the application Zwift. We've seen a lot of new users come into the Zwift virtual world, and I'm just enjoying a ton of new people joining in on those group rides. So to get started, we're going to look at a couple of options. So for your indoor training setup, you can essentially need four things, right? Obviously, a bike, and I do want to state, if you don't own a bike, I've also created a neat little video. Maybe you've got access to a spinning bike. If you do, check out the other video that I've created. I'll link to it at the top of this video, that I will show you how to connect a spin bike to an application like Zwift. Beyond the bike, you'll need three other things. First of all, you'll need a device that you can run Zwift on. In this instance, I've got the iPad set up in front of me, but your handy iPhone or even your Android phone will work just as well. Be sure to check out my blog post that I'll link to in the description below, where I go into some more detail about some other devices that can also work. Two other things that you might need for your indoor training setup. You'll need some way to recreate the riding experience indoors, and for that you'll need an indoor trainer. Second of all, you'll need some measurement device, a way to capture your ride data when riding indoors. So a lot of these lower entry-level indoor trainers don't come with all the smart technology that can capture your speed and the cadence, or maybe your power measurement. We'll need something then as an alternative that can capture that ride data that will then ultimately project to your device of choice. Let's get started and check out the indoor trainer. So let's talk about the classic trainer for just a second and talk about how they operate. As an example, I've got the Feedback Sports Omnium portable trainer fitted to this bike right now. Although not the cheapest option on my list, and if you go back to that blog post list that I've got, you'll find some other indoor trainers from very respectable brands. Brands like Bell and Tax and Saras. All of them make very entry-level indoor trainers that come in much more affordable than this. This particular model here costs around $350, but if you do look at that list, an indoor trainer from Bell, a very entry-level basic classic indoor trainer, they even come in as low as $99. So that just really shows you that you don't need to splash out on those high-end indoor trainers just to get you through this season of wanting to train indoors. Now, the way these indoor trainers function is basically all on the wheel-on design. So what that essentially means is that your rear wheel stays connected to your bike, and through some sort of a mechanism, in this case two rollers or maybe a magnetic rolling resistance wheel, then that offers some form of resistance, and when you pedal, you essentially get to recreate the riding experience indoors. And that's it. Classic indoor trainer, fairly simple, straightforward, no electronics or smarts whatsoever to these trainers. But because of that lack of smart technology, there is no way for us to connect these trainers to your device that will be running Zwift. And that's where our next step comes in. We'll need some kind of a measurement device that can then capture your ride data, either your speed, your cadence, or if you want to go a little bit more advanced, your power measurements that can then be projected to your device, such as your iPad or your iPhone. Let's take a look at that next so you can see how that operates. Alright, so on to the measurement device. Now for today, I'm going to show you a very affordable option to get started. Now, full disclaimer, it's not going to be as completely accurate as maybe one of those smart indoor trainers that can actually measure your power, or for that matter maybe more advanced power measurement devices. The device that I'm referring to is the Wahoo speed and cadence sensor. Now there's actually two different types that you can get. You get one model that comes with two separate sensors, one that you connect to your crank for the cadence, and then one that you connect to the rear hub, or the hub of the wheel that will be turning, that can essentially then capture the speed. So that's one option that comes in at around $69 or so. But if you do want to cut another $10 off that price, and you don't care too much about fitting magnets to your bike, then that's where this device comes in. So this is the second Wahoo speed and cadence sensor, but this is a combination device. It's actually a 2-in-1 sensor that can capture both the speed as well as the cadence, but the downside to that is that it does work with magnets as opposed to the first option that I gave. So in other words, you do need to fit a magnet to your crank as well as a magnet to your rear wheel, and essentially as those magnets then pass by the sensor, what they essentially do is capture that riding data, so whether that be speed and cadence. Both those options, both the two separate sensors as well as this 2-in-1 combo sensor, can then broadcast your ride data either via ANT+, that could go to something like your computer, or in our case, if we're going to focus on the phone or an iPad, then you want that to be broadcasting Bluetooth, and that's what these sensors can do. They can essentially broadcast in both those type of signals to your device of choice. So with your classic indoor trainer and a device like this, call it $99 for an entry-level Bell indoor trainer, along with $59 for this Wahoo speed and cadence sensor, and you're looking at $160 to get you started with Zwift. I think that is very good value for money, and a fairly low entry point to get started as soon as possible. Now, if you do want to think a little bit more of a long-term approach, and you do maybe want to invest in something now in the short term that could be used eventually outdoors when that opportunity for you to ride outdoors comes, then maybe think of something like this. This is the Garmin Power Pedal. So that's maybe a bit more of a step up in your budget compared to the Wahoo sensors. So these will obviously come in for a single-sided power pedal at around $400 or so, maybe $450, depending on where you buy it from. But the advantage to that is once those pedals are fitted to your bike, you can use them to ride indoors on Zwift, but also when that time comes to ride outdoors, you essentially have that same measurement device outdoors and you can record your power measurement. That'll also be a lot more accurate. So power measurements like this will produce the power that you need to move your avatar in the Zwift application, and you essentially don't have to rely on the estimates that you get when you're dealing with something like the Wahoo sensor. Alright, so there you have it. That is a quick look at a very affordable and entry-level option for you to get started with indoor cycling on an application like Zwift. I hope you liked this video. Please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Plenty more cycling related content to come in the future. And until next time, I'm Björn from Mountain Road Ride. Enjoy that ride.